Alright, here we go. Ropalollyst. The Ropalololist. That's the name of the new Eidolon making its way into Warframe very soon. The flying Eidolon that is coming with the Jovian Concord sometime later this month, whenever that update drops. The Ropalolist. I swear, as if English wasn't hard enough for me as it is, now I gotta say words like the Ropalolist. I already sound like I've got a potato stuck in my mouth without having to say words like that. So once again, Ropalololist. So we know the boss in this reworked tile set is a flying Eidolon, and now we know what its name is as well, and how hard it is for a potato to say it. But what do you lads expect from this actual fight? It's not out on the plains of Eidolon, it's in the Corpus Gas City rework, so a reworked tile set with larger areas and I would imagine a higher skybox as well. The fact that we've seen it flying around the Gas City rework on the last dev stream kind of makes me think that Archwing will play a part in this battle. I know, insert groans here lads. Someone's already typing, fuck Archwing. Maybe Artenda won't be needed, so it might bring a whole new dynamic to the fight. Maybe you won't need to use your amp in order to make this thing vulnerable to actually take damage in order to break its limbs. In fact, maybe you don't have to break its limbs at all. I'll be honest, after the Exploiter Orb fight and how well I felt it was done in comparison to other boss fights in Warframe, I am a little bit excited to see how well the Ropalolist actually performs, how well that battle actually is. And I'm hoping at the same time that it's not just a kind of copy-paste fight with Archwing thrown in. I mean, imagine having to fly around after this thing and break its limbs. Now anyway, that's just all guessing. We don't know anything about the fight, but I'm just assuming that Archwing will be involved because it is a flying Eidolon. So that's one thing we know is coming with the Jovian Concord, but what else can you expect with this update? You can expect more than 15 new mods that are going to be added with this update and are described as exploration mods that are to do with wall latching, aim gliding and so on if you want to switch your builds up. But if I'm being honest, they're kind of already forgotten about. I don't think anyone builds for wall latching unless I guess you're unlocking a Riven, or rarely for aim gliding, but hopefully some of the other mods are going to be more than worthwhile. There is going to be 5 new weapons added with the Jovian Concord update. 3 brand new weapons, one of them probably being the Wisp weapon we seen in the last dev stream, as well as apparently 2 of the Operation weapons, so coming with that clan operation. We know that the Nyx Deluxe skin is going to be added, so hooray for that if you enjoy Nyx. We know that they have bumped up the Ephemera and Aura former drop chances in arbitrations. They are looking at the Elite Sanctuary Onslaught reward table review for the next update, but they haven't touched it yet. They don't think it's going to make this update, and they are still working on the pacing of arbitration and trying to tweak it to get it right. We also know that random mod packs are now going to be removed from the market, which is great because they were a serious trap for new players. They would really catch new players out who thought they were getting value for money when in reality you really weren't. The game's oldest tile set has been given a complete revamp, but along with that Gas City rework, we know that the new Disruption game mode will be added on the Gamemode node. This game mode is a cross between mobile defense, excavation, and I guess defense in a little way. It's an endless mission type where enemies will scale a lot faster than normal endless mission types, and it's a mission type that will give you buffs and debuffs to make the game harder, or I guess easier, depending on your RNG, and also the ability to skew the normal rotations. Now the way Disruption is going to work is 4 terminals will spawn in on the mission, or 4 artifacts, and you're going to need to activate these. To activate these, you need to kill one of the new mutant amalgam enemies that they drop a key for you to turn these terminals on. When you interact with these terminals, you will either get a buff or a debuff. So a debuff like, say, Vampirism, where your health will slowly scale down. Or a buff, I guess, which could be increased damage. You get the idea. It's going to be a little bit more challenging. And you can activate all 4 of these artifact terminals at once for 4 different buffs or 4 different debuffs, depending on what you get. And probably speed up the reward system as well. But like every new game mode that gets added into Warframe, like every previous one anyway, loot will be the drive behind the community, right? It's what will make it popular, or I guess not. It will decide whether or not the community decides to keep playing this game mode or drop it inside a week or 2. And please, for the love of Clem, fucking don't allow this game mode to be just another endo farm. The game, I think, right now has enough different types of endo farm missions. Also, it would be nice to have some kind of different, unique rewards. Now, also coming with this update is our newest Warframe, Wisp. Someone's already typing booty. A Warframe who can harness the power of the fucking sun, but can also go wraith-like when she jumps as a passive, can put down different types of reservoirs that give different buffs, like a health boost and health regen, movement speed, there's an electric kind of pulse reservoir as well, and you can cycle between these reservoirs in a similar way that Vauban does with his grenades, or I guess Ivara does with her arrows. Now, originally, Wisp was kind of marketed towards the community as being this kind of mobile, agile frame, and when you look through her abilities, they kind of do the opposite, or they would give you the opinion that she's not really an agile type of frame. She's more of a static Warframe, more, I guess, based toward mobile defense missions or defense missions, not so much towards one that can run around constantly casting abilities. Now, she can also shoot a clone of herself in a direction that attracts enemy fire, and I guess casting it, again, we're told, will teleport her towards where that clone is, making her immune for a few seconds in the process. She can also blind enemies with some orbs of light, and her ultimate is a huge cruel sunbeam of death, codenamed Solid Gate. Now, these abilities might get proper names when she gets released. So the fact that she has to pop down these reservoirs to give your teammates buffs kind of makes her more suited toward mobile defense missions or defense missions. Well, that's my opinion anyway, and I know it's the opinion of a lot of players who have seen her on some of the dev streams. That could all change when she gets released. It could be a little bit different, or maybe the community will focus on a build that will make her much more mobile. Now, just like every other Warframe in the past, Wisp will be coming with a signature weapon. This signature weapon is apparently a weapon that can switch between a kind of Sonic Blast shotgun and an electric based rifle. We were lucky enough to get to see this in action on the last dev stream, and it looked like it had some really cool switching animations between the primary and secondary modes. How powerful it's going to be, we don't know. The community hasn't gotten their hands on it yet in order to build it and get the maximum amount of potential out of it as possible. Now, like I said, this update is coming sometime this month, and I would hazard a guess at some other additions probably being added into the game as well, maybe not just the ones I mentioned in this video, and it will be interesting to see what those additions might be. Nightwave Season 2, I would imagine, in a few weeks time as well. Now, let me know what, if anything, you're looking forward to coming with the Jovian Concord, how you feel about the Eidolon fight, what your hopes are for it, whether you think it's going to be Arcwing or not, what its rewards might be, because the Wisp Warframe might be locked behind the actual Eidolon, killing it, so maybe the blueprint alone might be behind that Eidolon, or maybe the new Gamemode might have Wisp behind it either, that disruption Gamemode. Do me a huge favour and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.